So after watching the first one about 2 months ago, I finally got around to watching Jeepers Creepers 2. So this movie takes place in the same 21 or 23 days that the first movie takes place in, so there's been no real massive time skip after everything that went through in the first movie. Pretty much it's probably a couple of days later, because this is the last day of the Creeper's lifespan for another 21 years as far as I know. It could even be more, I actually don't really know. But this is the last day he's got, so he's got to eat as much as he can, because he's going to go into hibernation for a good 2 years. So first up, he tracks down this bus full of kids and he decides to terrorize them. First thing I thought was a bit weird. That makes sense in the fact that it's a movie, that you do have to build up the suspense, you have to build up the terrifying elements. But it doesn't really make sense in the fact that this is his last day. We know if he doesn't get this, he's going to starve, and he does not want to starve. And the fact that he can easily rip a hole in the top of that bus and eat them all up. I don't get why he's messing with them. I don't know why he's toying with them. I don't know if if it's just by him doing that, do they taste better? If they're more terrified, do they taste better? Same kind of way as Pennywise. But I just thought it was a bit weird that it's his last day. He's going to starve if he doesn't eat them. But yet he decides not to eat them. I don't fully get that. Also, the opening scenes of this movie it's pretty cool. As far as I know, this was the original trailer they released, but it's this kid on a farm, and I don't know what he was doing. He was collecting something or anything, but he looks over at a scarecrow, and of course it looks like a scarecrow. But then the more you get closer to it, you know, oh shit, that's the creeper up there. And it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool, the fact that the creeper's up there as a scarecrow, and he literally gets a kid and he takes that kid out of there, causing the kid's older brother and the kid's father to lose their shit at the kid going away. Of course, we know the kid's dead. As far as I know, they gathered that, okay, that kid's dead, because if you see like a massive oversized kind of bat creature flying away with your son, you know your son is dead. So it's quite cool to see that was the opening of the movie. And one of the good things about this movie that the first one couldn't do is the fact that we know what the creeper looks like. They don't have to kind of build up the suspense, build up to showing us what this creeper looks like. We know what he looks like, so they can just show us him straight away. And as they did, they showed us him straight away. One of the negatives I have with this movie, it's not really a negative to do with the movie, it's just something I was disappointed we didn't get to see. After watching the first movie, one of my favourite things about that first movie was the truck. I thought that truck was so menacing, so creepy, really helped build up the creepiness and terrifying element of the creeper. And the fact that we don't have the truck in there in this movie, I found it to be quite disappointing. I was quite let down the fact that we didn't actually have the truck in this movie. But we do get some new elements to the creeper. He actually has throwing stars now, which the funny thing, or the cool thing about the throwing stars are, they're not just like metal throwing stars, they're throwing stars he has made from bits of other people. We see one of the throwing stars actually has that little rose tattoo that our main character had in the first one, because we knew he took his eyes, so what he used he used his rest of his body to make little throwing stars, which I thought was quite cool, the fact that we see these throwing stars. The creeper itself, though, he's still fantastic, still an absolutely awesome horror icon. As you can see, I actually bought the pop of him because it's such an awesome horror icon. Just the look of him, everything. He looks creepy, he looks filthy, he looks smelly, everything about him looks absolutely fantastic. The scene when he's up against the window on the bus, picking and choosing which kids he's going to take, it's a funny moment. I think the creeper in this movie is a lot more terrifying because we get to see him more. In the first movie, I didn't know if it was like a creeper or if it was just another person, but the fact that we see the creeper a lot more, I think it just lends to the horror element a lot more, really builds up to show his face and everything. I just thought it worked really well. One of the disadvantages this movie had that the first one didn't have, the first one didn't have, was the first movie, our two main characters, I really liked those characters. I wanted to see them survive. But this movie, we are following a bus full of teenagers who I couldn't care less if any of them died. None of them I was attached to. All of them were assholes. There's one character in particular who, she wasn't an asshole, but she was able to see into the not into the future. She was able to see into the future. She was able to get messages out of nowhere. This came out of nowhere. I have no idea where this came from. In the first movie, We had that psychic came to our characters and told them everything we need to know. And even I said in my review for the first one, I said, it's a bit odd that we have this, but of course we do have to find this information now. And if they're going to do it, this is a better way of someone just automatically knowing all this stuff. In this movie, we don't have the psychic. We have literally what I said, not having someone, just having someone know all the knowledge out of nowhere. And the way she gets the knowledge is absolutely horrible. I think the guy in the first movie's name was Justin Long. He was in this movie and he told her the information. Justin Long is dead in this universe, so it's a bit weird that we see his dead body literally tell her the information, and the way he tells it to her is just absolutely horrible. It really, I didn't like how they found the information out within this movie, but by the end of the movie, we see a pretty cool action sequence. Well, not really an action sequence, but a little fight scene between the father at the start of the movie, because him and his son have been hunting down this creeper the entire movie, trying to get revenge for his son. We get there, he has this massive, it was like a harpoon gun or whatever he used, but he made something out of something else and he was using it to kill the creeper, and you could see that it was heavily hurting the creeper, because the fact that the creeper is on his last night, he is going to starve, he's going to die, and this man is literally beating the crap out of the creeper, crashing into him, stabbing him. It was absolutely fantastic. By the end of it, he thinks he kills the creeper. We then see the creeper tied up to a barn, and someone comes to pay for it to see what the devil looks like, seeing him tied up against the wall. Now, this is my first time watching Jeepers Creepers 2. Even the first time I watched Jeepers Creepers 1, that was my first time watching it. But I'm pretty sure I've seen that scene before. I don't know where, maybe on YouTube or something, but I'm pretty confident I had seen this scene with an old man in a chair holding a shotgun with a big massive creature on the barn. I don't know where I've seen it, but as soon as I seen it, it just looked familiar to me. Now, I haven't seen Jeepers Creepers 3. I don't know anything about Jeepers Creepers 3, but I've seen that Jeepers Creepers 1 and 2 came out in the early 2000s. Jeepers Creepers 3 came out in 2017. I'm assuming the gap that was there is going to be used for the gap in that universe, where you're going to see the old man come back, we're going to see that girl from the first movie come back, and they're going to fight against the creeper, because it makes sense. The sequel, since the gap is so big, what else would they do? So I'm actually really excited to watch Jeepers Creepers 3. Personally, I think Jeepers Creepers 1 is a fantastic horror movie. Jeepers Creepers 2, it's good, not as good. I wouldn't consider it a great horror sequel. It's an okay sequel. I will rewatch it. I can't see myself watching it anytime soon. But if I can get the Blu-ray, I will get the Blu-ray for Jeepers Creepers 2. But let me know your thoughts on Jeepers Creepers 2 in the comment section down below. Is it one of the best movies in this franchise, or is it one of the worst movies in this franchise? I'm excited for Jeepers Creepers 3. I'm going to watch it in the next couple of days. Hopefully I can get the review out to you guys as soon as I can. I think there's a 2-month gap between the first one and the second. But once I see 3, I'm going to review and I'm going to rank the entirety of the Jeepers Creepers franchise. So if you want to hear my entire ranking of this franchise when I watch Jeepers Creepers 3, click that subscribe button so you can come back for that ranking whenever that drops. And as always, thanks for watching.